Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stand Up Speakeasy. I am your host, Sarath Nay, and every episode I bring a comic or someone that's has contributed to the comedy scene in their city. And this gentleman is a great example. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is Bill. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, doing cool in my computer chair, looking at my phone. Cool times.
Absolutely, indeed. So you're a former comedian and a present-day musician, filmmaker, artist, frequent hot sauce eater, and sometimes rapper. And take me through the journey of all those that you were and currently are.
Well, I did comedy for a long time. I made before doing comedy. Whenever I was like 16, 17, I made very sad MySpace folk music. Um, then I discovered comedy, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." So did that for a while. Um, and for a while, comedy was just like the only way that I knew like how to express myself, kinda. And so did that for a good long while. Then I got back into like doing music stuff and making films, and I was like, oh, that's right, there are 1,000 other ways to express yourself too. So I'm just making up for lost time, exploring those.
Absolutely, indeed. And we spoke about hot sauce before we went on air. And what is your favorite hot sauce at Tijuana Flats?
Favorite hot sauce at Tijuana Flats? I know none of their names. I'm gonna say Dave's Ass Killer. Don't know if that's a real one. Hope it is. My favorite hot sauce in general. One of the fine folks of Mobile, actually two of the fine folks in Mobile, they home make a hot sauce called Hot Boys, and it is a delight. I would strongly suggest anyone who likes hot sauce to get a bottle of Hot Boys for the Berwicks.
Indeed, they should have that on gosh, I'm skipping my brain, but I watch Sean Evans his show, and he has those celebrities on there, and they have the hot wings, and they talk
Oh
about their career. Yeah,
like yeah, Hot Ones, Hot Ones. I think
yep,
is that
hot
right?
ones. There it is. Yeah, and then
Underneath.
indeed, and yeah, it's pretty neat that you used to perform folk music. Because when I was living back home in Colorado, I used to manage a band that was an acoustic folk three-piece band, and they were amazing. But I moved away, and then everything fell apart. But we went on tour, and they opened for Everlast, and it was just the most insane. I never expected to be a manager or a publicist or a booking agent for them, but it all worked out. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing how things come together like that. Opportunities everywhere.
Most definitely, indeed. And so you're into wrestling and old Japanese music, and that's a great combination. So, who's your favorite pro wrestler, and what's your favorite old Japanese song?
My favorite pro wrestler um, is probably Mick Foley slash Mankind slash Cactus Jack slash Dude Love. Um, just because like he doesn't he shouldn't be a wrestler. He's just like a big flabby dude, and he's just good at what he does.
Absolutely, indeed. My favorite wrestler is pretty extreme too, and I love Sabu. He's like my all-time favorite.
Yeah, yes. Samu's rat homicidal, genocidal. He does what it takes.
Indeed, absolutely. And your favorite old Japanese song? Which is your favorite?
Old Japanese song. I'm Plastic Love, huge hit. There's an album, First Light, that is super good. It was like made in 1982. It's on Spotify. You can find it there. There's no excuse to not find it. It's real good. I would suggest it.
Speaking of albums, you released one last month called Saint 65, and on the Final Girlfriend SoundCloud, uh, which is yours. And how did you come up with the name Saint 65 for your most recent album?
Saint 65, I found out was there's a big church right by the Interstate 65, and people call it Saint 65. I drive by that church literally every day. Um, and like I always look at it, and like whenever like the big like coastal storms come in, the church looks amazing next to like all the clouds and everything like that. So yeah, I found out people call it Saint 65, and I'm not a religious person, but the church is beautiful whenever everything's all dark and gloomy.
Indeed, most definitely. And when I was watching Dreamers and Doers, the documentary that you made, and I was like amazed by all the angles that you use. You being a filmmaker and involved in the comedy scene, and what was the whole like process of making Dreamers and Doers like?
It was incredibly haphazard. I think all in all, because I used to use my phone for everything. I think all in all, I spent about $50 making it, and it was me doing that, calling in a bunch of favors, and it was just getting motivated really, because I mean like it's one of the things that like you sit and think about when you're like, oh, I would like to make a documentary, but I've never made a documentary. I don't know how to make a documentary. Then it's just at a certain point, you just get to like, just fucking make the documentary. um,
Absolutely.
it's just overcoming a lot of personal hurdles and like coming out on top.
Indeed, and if anyone wants to watch Dreamers and Doers, the YouTube link is scrolling on the bottom, and it's also in the description box below. So feel free to watch that. And it amazes me that you made your the documentary for $50, and I'm a filmmaker too, and I made my very first short film that I made was $25, but none of it went to production, and but we ended up winning an award for it. So it was bad but good at the same time.
that's that's the best. You take the good, you take the bad, take them both.
Indeed, it's the facts of life for sure.
Exactly.
Indeed, I'll have to send you the link to that video, and you'll have to like write a review on the bottom of it. It's on YouTube, and I'd like to know your thoughts on it. So,
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
and I'll go back and leave a thumbs up and a comment on your documentary too.
Okay, see, the world works.
Yep,
Socialism works. We're really out here.
absolutely. And Bill, during your comedy days, I was hoping to ask you these questions that I ask comedians, like everyone that I've interviewed. So, what inspired you to perform stand up comedy?
um, there were two things, I think. The first was um, growing up. I'd stayed up way too late, and I was looking at HBO trying to find softcore porn as a young teenager, and instead Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker was on. And I was like, oh, this is better than softcore porn, and fell in love with that. Um, the second thing was before I started doing comedy, I worked at a Verizon wireless call center. And this lady from Michigan called me. She's like, "Oh, you're from Alabama, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Think about that. It was gonna be something about me like fucking my cousin or like I can't read or something like that. But I wouldn't give her this iPhone, so she said, y'all just had a hurricane there, right? I wish you died in that storm."
Wow.
And it was incredibly fun. It still is incredibly funny to me. I was like, anybody can do comedy.
Indeed, I used to work for AT&T myself, so it's like, but I worked in the stores selling phones in LA, and so it's just the same world.
Yeah,
But
for me, like I can be snarky over the phone, they can't get to me. For
yeah,
you got some actual risk.
indeed, I had my manager step in so many times, so I'm like, they don't pay me enough to deal with this stuff. But
Yeah.
indeed, and let's see here, what was the feeling like when you first performed stand up?
I was whenever I first performed stand up, incredibly shaky. I remember I was on stage and like I could tell that like my voice wasn't coming through. It sounded like a tremolo effect whenever you put over music, or if you like talk through a fan a little bit, because my hand was just like that with the mic. Um, I remember feeling, because I was blast off on Long Island teas. But I remember feeling like I did great. Whether or not I actually did great, that's not important. I felt like I did great.
Indeed, and you mentioned bigger Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker earlier. Now, I want to know your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums are.
It's weird because I never watched that many stand up like specials. Um, okay, oh god. The Maria Bamford special where I forgot the name of it, but it's just like her performing like to her parents on a couch. I like that one a lot. About Time by Gary Goldman is real good. Um, I should know more. I cannot place more. It shouldn't be. I will say this for one thing. Jeff Foxworthy's first stand-up album, pretty good. People kind of sleep on it. It's pretty good.
Indeed, a lot of folks have mentioned the Marie Bamford one where she performed in front of her parents. I remember performing in front of my parents one time with stand up, and they're like, we don't get it, but we'll support you 100%. I'm like, all right, fine, that works for me. So,
That's sweet.
indeed. And let's see here. If you can go on tour with a lot of those folks have been on TV and film, and I want to know what your favorite sitcom, sketch shows, and comedy films are.
Sitcom, probably like All in the Family or The Jeffersons. Actually, no, fuck that. No, Golden Girls. Golden Girls is my favorite sitcom. Favorite sketch show, probably the State. I like the State a lot. What was the other one? My bad.
Comedy films.
Comedy films. Airplane stands up. Airplane is still real fucking funny, I think. Is that I would say the Ben Stiller movie Heavyweights, still real good.
Indeed. I when I get like a new friend request or we become friends on Facebook and stuff with a lot of random people, I used to put the Golden Girls theme on their walls. So it's just like thank you for being a friend. But now I rarely do it now because I'm just tired of doing that. So, Bill, if you can go on tour with any comedian when you were doing comedy, locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with? If you could go.
Well, local, myself and Carson Taylor and Zeke Buckholz, we went on a tour together, so I can cross them because we already did it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Present day local, I'd love to go on tour with Ryan Adams. Ryan Adams is one of my oldest friends. I love Ryan. Go on tour with Heather Hughes. We live together, so it'll just be like we're paying rent somewhere else. Jade Green, I'd love to go on tour with Jade. That'd be a lot of fun. Nationally, are like playful threats of violence okay?
Yep.
All right. I kind of want to go on tour with Theo Vaughn because I kind of want to fight Theo Vaughn.
Indeed, and those are all great local comics you mentioned because I've interviewed most of them, and they are all fantastic folks. And
yeah, they're beautiful people. Love it.
Absolutely. And if you can get roasted by 5 comedians, past and present, which comedians would you like to get roasted by?
Don Rickles, Colin Quinn. He's not necessarily a comic, but like Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'd love to get roasted by. 3. I would say if I get him, I'm kind of circling back on this a little bit. If I get him real drunk, Jeff Foxworthy he might be good at it. We don't know. And last, I would say Jim Norton.
Indeed, awesome
That could all
stuff.
make me feel real bad about myself,
Indeed. And the next question, I'll switch out comedy journeys with artistic journeys. So, where do you see your artistic journey going in the next 5 years?
5 years is a long time. A lot of things can happen in 5 years. People could be, people could just be like, well, I mean, now people are selling like crypto art now. So, like the lid's kind of off as far as art goes, of like where it could go, like what people are going to be doing. Ideally, finishing up another documentary of a few that are ready to go. That I've had some people ditch on me as far as documentary plans. Hope I'm doing that. Ideally, releasing an album where I don't have to do all the distribution work. That'd be real sick. And hopefully having like a functional, independent like print operation. If I could have that for like art prints, then that would be great. Also making my own ink. that seems like it'd be fun.
Absolutely, indeed. And if you were to go back into the comedy world, which comedy ventures would you like to go off into, like improv, sketch, comedy writing, acting, directing, etc.?
Um, I would I would do improv just because like I personally don't get improv. Which is fine. I think I would do honestly. I think I would do more of the business side of it and like understand more of the business side of it because like whenever I did do the business side of it, I was fucking pitiful. It was not good. No one was getting paid. Um, so I'd probably do that because I think you can leverage that in like any kind of like entertainment space. Um, I'd probably do that. Probably uh, I'd work a lot more design wise with comedians in the start rather than like waiting like years to do it and just like independently make show flyers and stuff like that. So like just using like Canva or like Spark Post to do stuff. Because that's what I liked about comedy was the DIY like punk attitude, and I didn't realize that until like much later on.
Absolutely. I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to figure out the whole comedy business too. So I've been watching YouTube videos to learn and all that good stuff. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely useful. Like I remember whenever me, Cars, and Zeke did the tour, um, we were telling someone about it, and they're like, "Oh, cool! Like, what kind of guarantee did y'all get?" And I was like, "What do you What do you mean get like they're gonna pay? They're definitely gonna pay us when we get there." And that they didn't.
nope. Indeed, those guarantees are important. And whenever I produce a show, I always ask everyone a guarantee, and then I do my best to raise the funds if the venue can't cover them. So almost
Yeah.
I totally understand. And um, let's see here. If what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
Hmm. Favorite joke that a comedian has written. Um, oh, this is rough. I feel like there are like 1,000 street jokes that I love. Um, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a joke that my daughter wrote. Is that okay?
Yep.
Because why did the princess not like frozen pizza?
Why?
Because it was too cold.
it
Wow.
makes it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
In-
yeah. 6-year-old on top of the comedy.
Indeed. And what experience would you like your audience to take with them, whether it's music or comedy or film? Would you like for them to take with them after it's over, like the whole thing, like whether it's
I,
a set or
like I don't think that it's up to me to like kind of advise them what to feel. Like as long as people are feeling something, I feel like it's good art. It's like worthwhile art. You can like watch some things and like be uncomfortable. But if it was made to make you feel uncomfortable, then good. Yeah, that's the reason it's there. If someone listens to like a song, they feel like, oh, great, cool, I did it. They listen to the same song, and they want my head on a platter. I made them feel something. Mission accomplished.
absolutely indeed. And we're raising funds for the Children's Music Fund for this episode. And why did you choose those fine folks?
As For me as a kid, I didn't have a bunch of the resources that, and a lot of people don't. As far as music stuff and music education, they specifically have something to help out kids with chronic illnesses to be able to like get access to instruments and uh, music development and stuff like that. And I feel like that experience and point of view from like a writing and composing standpoint is probably incredibly valuable, not only for like a listener, but for them as far as expressing themselves. Yeah, it's mainly that. It helps sick kids express themselves, and B, it gives other kids um, opportunities that like I may not have had. Because if I had access to other music things, I may have been releasing other things sooner. I may have been making Kanye beats at 9. Who knows?
Indeed, most definitely. And let's see here. If the stand-up speakeasy is like it's for like a secret society of stand-up comics, former stand-up comics like yourself, and it's like it's like the Prohibition, the Roaring Twenties. So with that being said, Bill, which comics out of Alabama would you like to see on a future episode of the stand-up speakeasy?
Um, have you done Thomas Finley?
I believe so.
Okay.
But if not, I'll reach out to him for sure.
Okay. Because I went through and watched some of them. I wasn't sure if I saw Thomas pop up. Aside from Thomas, I'm trying to think because I've outside of like my circle of like friends and like the people that I work on projects with, I kind of don't know what's happening. What about Compton Smith?
And he was actually my guest last night, and it was my
Oh my
100th
god!
interview. So it's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
so we're had me out like a light last night. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know.
It's all good.
You've
But
interviewed all my friends. I don't have that many friends, realistically.
all is good. And but I'm pretty sure I'll reach out and to the ones that haven't been interviewed, and I know the feeling because like Daytona has a small scene too, and that's where I perform mostly. And it's but everyone, the whole state's connected through me somehow because I interviewed everybody too. So it's in the whole state. So I'm running out of options, but it's great, just to put the entire comedy scenes from each state on the map, and doing my darndest, and just interviewing everybody and getting to know everyone, even during these times. There's that silver lining.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, during the times you had an opportunity, and you see some ran with it, and you're given a lot of people voices and platforms, and that's uh, a a credit to the community.
Absolutely. And I love comedy. I love artists of all types, including filmmakers like myself and you and all that good stuff. So, and with that being said, please follow Bill on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Donate to his Cash App. Donate to the Children's Music Fund and all that good stuff. It's also in the description box below. So, and with that being said, Bill, is there any final words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
Go to Final Girlfriend on SoundCloud. There's stuff there. Support your friends' creative endeavors. Yeah, just get out of bed and make something today. It doesn't matter what. Make some, even if it's a pancake art. Make fucking pancake art. Just do something.
Absolutely. You heard Bill. Go make those pancakes. Awesome.
Mail me some pancakes.
Absolutely, awesome, great stuff. Thank you so much, Bill, for being my guest today. And I look once this whole thing's over and I get to go out and do shows. Hopefully, I'll pass through Alabama and say hello and introduce myself in person and all that good stuff. And I'll put this all together and I'll send it your way. And thank you so much for being my guest. It means a lot to me. And for everyone else at home, be safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Stand Up Speakeasy. Be well, everyone.